The ISV Resolute moved through the dark space like a silent shark. It was a human ship, made of strong metal and built for war. Inside the ship, the lights were dim. The bridge was quiet except for the soft hum of the machines. Captain Mark stood in front of the big window. He looked out at the stars. He was a tall man with short hair and a serious face. He wore a blue uniform with a gold star on his chest. Beside him, Lisa sat at her desk. She was the tactical officer. She had quick eyes and fast fingers. She watched the screens carefully. They were far from home. They were in a part of space called the Terminus system. It was a bad place. The Galactic Council said it was dangerous. They said no one should go there. Are we sure about this? Lisa asked. She looked up at the captain. Mark did not turn around. We have to be sure, Lisa. The signals are clear. We are breaking the rules, Lisa said. The council will be angry. Mark turned his head. Let them be angry. We are doing the right thing. The ship shook a little as it passed through a cloud of space dust. Mark held onto the rail. He thought about the mission. The Galactic Council was a group of many alien races. They made the rules for the galaxy. They were smart, but they were cold. They did not care about weak people. For a long time, humans were new to space. The aliens looked down on them. They called humans Deathworlders. They said Earth was a terrible place. They said it was too hot, too wild, and too dangerous. They laughed at the humans. But the humans were still here. They were tough. They could survive in places where other aliens would die. Mark knew this. He was proud of his crew. Report, Mark said. Mike walked onto the bridge. Mike was the engineer. He was a big man with dirty hands and a wrench in his belt. The engines are running good, Captain, Mike said. But we are using a lot of fuel. We need to find them soon. They are close, Mark said. I can feel it. Suddenly, Lisa tapped on her screen. Captain. I see something on the radar. It is big. Mark walked over to her. Show me. The screen changed. It showed a picture of the space ahead. There were many dots. Those are ships, Lisa said. Her voice was quiet. So many ships. Tom walked in from the back. He was the security chief. He was a strong man with a bald head. He carried a gun on his hip. Is it a trap? Tom asked. Mark looked at the screen. No, Tom. It is not a trap. It is a graveyard. The ship moved forward. As they got closer, they could see the ships with their own eyes. It was a sad sight. There were hundreds of ships. Some were big, some were small. They floated in the dark, dead, and silent. They had no lights. They had no power. Who are they? Mike asked. They are the Alari, Mark said. And the Vorg. They were running away from a war. They asked the council for help. Lisa looked at her screen. I am reading life signs, Captain. There are millions of them, but the numbers are going down. Their air is running out. Their heat is gone. Mark hit his fist on the desk. Those bastards, he said. Who? Tom asked. The council, Mark said. They said these ships were sick. They said there was a plague. They locked the jump gates. They trapped them here and left them to die. Everyone left. The rich aliens ran away. They did not want to get sick. So they just let these people freeze. Tom looked angry too. That is not right, Tom said. On Earth, we don't leave people behind. We help them. That is why we are here, Mark said. Helm, take us in. Slow speed. We need to find the biggest ship. The Resolute moved closer to the floating fleet. The metal of the dead ships was cold. Some of them had holes in the sides. It looked like a ghost town in space. I see a big one, Lisa said. It looks like a command ship. The name on the side is the Star of Hope. Good name, Mark said. Let us see if there is any hope left. The ship turned gently. They approached the big alien ship. It was huge, much bigger than the human ship. But it looked damaged. It was dark. Can we talk to them? Mark asked. I am trying, Lisa said. She typed on her keyboard. I am sending a radio signal. Hello, this is the human ship Resolute. Can anyone hear me? They waited. For a long time, there was only silence. Mike wiped his hands on a rag. Tom checked his gun. Mark watched the big ship. Then, a voice came over the speaker. It was weak and full of static. Human ship, is that true? You are the Deathworlders. The voice sounded scared. Mark pressed the button to talk. This is Captain Mark. We are humans. We are here to help. Help, the voice said. No one comes to help. The council, they said you would kill us. They said you eat flesh. Mark looked at Tom and smiled a little. We don't eat people. We want to fix your ship. Can we dock? The alien voice did not answer for a minute. Then, it came back. We are dying. Our air is cold. Our machines are dead. If you want to come, you can. But do not kill us. We will not kill you, Mark said. Prepare for our arrival. Mark turned to his crew. Okay, team. You heard the man. We have work to do. Tom stepped forward. I want to go with the team, Captain. I want to make sure it is safe. Take 5 men, Mark said. Go with Mike. He needs to fix their engines. Lisa, you stay here and keep the sensors running. Yes, Captain, they said. Tom and Mike walked to the airlock. They put on their heavy space suits. The suits were white and thick. They had big helmets. They carried tools and guns. The air hissed as the door opened. They walked out into the small shuttle craft. The shuttle flew away from the Resolute. It flew toward the dead alien ship. It looked like a fly landing on a sleeping elephant. Through the window, Tom could see the alien ship. It was gray and scary. Are you scared? Mike asked. He was checking his tool bag. No, Tom said. But I am ready. I don't trust aliens. The ones I met before were not nice. But the captain is right. We can't let them die. The shuttle found a door on the side of the alien ship. Mike used the remote controls to grab onto the ship. The shuttle locked on tight. Airlock is connected, Mike said. Opening the outer door. The door opened. It was dark inside. Tom turned on his flashlight. The light cut through the dark. They walked into the alien ship. The air inside was cold. Very cold. Their breath made fog in the air. They walked down a long hallway. The walls were made of a strange, smooth material. There were symbols on the walls, but Tom could not read them. I am reading no gravity, Mike said. They have artificial gravity, but it is failing. They floated a little bit off the floor. They pulled themselves along the rails on the walls. They saw ice on the pipes. It was freezing. Suddenly, they heard a noise. It was a scratching sound. Tom pointed his gun forward. "Who is there?" he shouted. They turned a corner. In the dim light, they saw a figure. It was an alien. It was tall and very thin. It had big eyes and no hair. It looked weak. It was huddled on the floor, shivering. Tom lowered his gun. "It's okay," he said. "We are here to help." The alien looked at them. It saw the round helmets. It saw the human faces inside. The alien tried to move back, but it was too weak. It fell down. Mike floated over to the alien. He checked a small machine on his wrist. "Heartbeat is slow. Temperature is very low," Mike said. He took a blanket out of his bag. It was a thermal blanket. He wrapped it around the alien. The alien looked at Mike with wide eyes. "You are touching me," the alien whispered. "Yes," Mike said. "You are cold." The alien started to cry. It was a strange sound, like a whistle. "Everyone left us," the alien said. "The cold ships passed by. They shot at us. No one stopped. Why are you stopping?" Tom looked at the alien. He felt angry at the other aliens. "How could they leave this creature to die because we are humans?" Tom said. "We don't do that." "Captain," Mike said into his radio. "We found survivors. It is bad here. Very bad. We need to get the power back on fast." "I hear you, Mike," Mark's voice came over the radio. "Do what you can. We are sending more supplies. We are not leaving until everyone is safe." Tom helped the alien stand up. "Come with us," Tom said. "We have food. We have heat." The alien leaned on Tom. It was surprisingly light. They walked back toward the shuttle. As they walked, more lights appeared in the dark hallways. Other aliens were coming out. They were scared, but they saw the humans helping their friend. They saw the humans were not monsters. On the bridge of the Resolute, Mark watched the video feed. He saw his team carrying the sick alien. He nodded his head. The galaxy called them Deathworlders. They said humans were violent and crazy. But today, the humans were the only ones with a heart. "Open the cargo bays," Mark ordered Lisa. "Get the medical kits ready. Get the heaters ready. We have a lot of people to save." Lisa smiled. It was a real smile. "Yes, Captain. We are going to save them all." The Resolute sat next to the dead fleet, shining like a bright star in the dark. The rescue had begun. The air inside the alien ship was very cold. It was so cold that Tom could see his breath turn into white fog every time he exhaled. He stood inside the docking bay of the Star of Hope, the huge alien ship they had attached to. The metal floor was dark and covered in a thin layer of ice. The lights flickered weakly, making the big room look scary. Tom was a big man, and he was not afraid of many things, but seeing this place made him feel serious. It was a tomb where people were still trying to breathe. Next to him stood Mike. Mike was the engineer. He wore a heavy coat over his spacesuit and carried a large tool bag. He looked around the room and shook his head. "This place is a mess," Mike said. His voice echoed in the quiet room. "The power generator is completely dead. The heating is offline. They have been freezing for weeks." Tom looked at the group of aliens in front of them. They were the Alari. They were tall, thin creatures with gray skin and large, dark eyes. They did not look like warriors. They looked like sticks that might break easily. They wore rags for clothes and shivered violently. They huddled together in a circle, looking at the humans with fear. One of the aliens stepped forward. He wore a jacket that had a shiny rank pin on it. He must be the captain. His face was pale and drawn. "Humans," the alien captain said. He used a small translation device that hung around his neck. "You came to finish us. The council said you would come to kill the survivors." Tom looked at the alien captain. He did not smile. Tom looked like a dangerous man because he was a soldier. He had a gun on his hip, and his face was hard. But he was angry at the council, not at these refugees. "We are not here to kill you," Tom said in a loud, clear voice. "We are here to fix your ship and keep you alive." The alien captain blinked. He seemed confused. "But, you are Deathworlders. You are violent. You destroy things. Why would you help us?" "Because that is what we do," Tom said. He pointed at Mike. "This is Mike. He is the best mechanic we have. He is going to turn your lights back on." Mike stepped forward. He did not waste time. "I need to see the engine room immediately," Mike said. "We don't have much time. The temperature in here is dropping every minute." "Where is the main power core?" The alien captain hesitated. He looked at the strange humans. He had been told stories about humans since he was a child. The stories said humans drank poison for fun and breathed air that burned metal. He expected them to have red eyes and sharp teeth. But these humans just looked cold and impatient. "The engine room is down 4 levels," the alien said. "But it is dangerous. There are fires and radiation." Mike laughed. It was a short, happy sound. "Mister, I worked in a coal mine in Ohio when I was 12 years old. I can handle a little fire. Lead the way." They started to walk. Tom and a team of soldiers followed Mike. The aliens watched them pass. The Alari were tall, but they walked slowly and weakly. The humans walked with heavy boots, making loud clanking noises on the metal floor. The humans were shorter and wider, but they moved with energy. It was a strange contrast. As they walked through the hallways of the giant ship, Tom saw the sad state of the refugees. In the corridors, families were sitting on the floor. They were wrapped in thin blankets. They had no water. They had no food. The children were quiet. They were too weak to cry. Seeing this made Tom's heart feel heavy. He remembered his own daughter back on Earth. He could not imagine her living like this. "Do you have any medicine?" a weak voice asked. Tom stopped. An old female alien was leaning against the wall. She looked very sick. "We have doctors on our ship," Tom said gently. "We will bring medicine soon. Just hold on." "Thank you," the alien whispered. They reached the elevator, but it was not working. "Power is out," Mike said. "We have to take the stairs." The aliens looked tired just thinking about stairs. But Mike started to run down the emergency stairwell. He moved fast for a big man. Tom and the soldiers followed him. They carried heavy equipment on their backs. The aliens tried to keep up, but they could not. The humans were just too strong. Their legs were like tree trunks, used to fighting the high gravity of Earth. Here, on the ship with low gravity, the humans felt like they could fly. They reached the bottom level. It was hot here. The air smelled like burning plastic and oil. This way, the alien engineer said, pointing to a large door. The door was stuck. The heat had warped the metal frame. It won't open, the alien said. It is sealed shut. Mike put down his bag. He looked at Tom. Tom, give me a hand. Tom nodded. He stepped up to the door. He did not look for a button or a computer panel. He just grabbed the metal handle with his gloved hands. He planted his feet on the floor. He took a deep breath and pulled. The muscles in his arms and back bulged. He let out a loud grunt. The metal groaned. Sparks flew. The door was not meant to be opened by brute strength. It was made for delicate alien fingers. But humans are not delicate. With a loud screech, Tom ripped the door open. The heavy metal slab tore right off its hinges. Tom dropped the door to the floor with a loud bang. He stood there, breathing hard, steam coming off his armor. It's open, he said simply. The alien engineer stared at Tom with his mouth open. You broke it, he stammered. Yeah, but now we can get in, Mike said. He walked past Tom into the engine room. The engine room was a disaster, wires hung from the ceiling like vines. Control panels were black and smashed. In the center of the room was the power core. It was dark and silent. Okay, Mike said, rubbing his hands together. Let us get to work. For the next 4 hours, Mike and his team worked like crazy. The aliens stood by and watched in amazement. They had never seen anyone work like this. The galactic species believed in careful, slow work. They believed in committees and safety checks. But humans worked with intensity. They were loud, they were sweaty, and they were fast. Tom was carrying heavy batteries from the human shuttle to the engine room. The batteries were supposed to be moved by a machine, but the machine was broken. So Tom just picked them up. He carried 2 at a time, each weighing 200 pounds. He walked back and forth, sweating through his shirt. He did not complain. An alien tried to help him. He lifted one side of a battery, but he could not lift it. It was too heavy. Do not hurt yourself, the alien said. Wait for a lifter. Tom smiled. I don't need a lifter. I have a back. He lifted the battery easily and walked away. The alien captain was watching too. He saw the humans touching hot pipes with their bare hands. He saw them drinking a black liquid called coffee that they brought in thermoses. He saw them laughing even when they got cut or bruised. They were not afraid of the environment. Captain, the alien engineer said to his leader. These creatures, they are crazy. They are hurting themselves to fix our ship. They are not crazy, the alien captain said. He watched Tom and Mike working together. They are determined. They are survivors. They call this a death world. I think it just made them strong. Finally, Mike stood up from the main console. He wiped grease from his face with a rag. Okay, he shouted. That should do it. Tom, throw the main switch. Tom walked over to a huge red lever on the wall. He grabbed it. Here goes nothing. He pulled the lever down with a loud clang. For a second, nothing happened. Then, a low rumble started under the floor. The lights flickered and then turned on, bright and strong. The fans in the ceiling started to spin, pushing warm air into the room. The machines began to hum with power. The aliens cheered. It was a weak cheer, but it was full of joy. The heat started to spread through the vents. Mike grinned. He was covered in dirt and oil. Told you we could fix it, he said. Tom slapped Mike on the back, nearly knocking him over. Good job, Mike. Let's get the heaters running in the living quarters. The alien captain walked up to Tom and Mike. He looked at them differently now. He did not look at them as monsters. He looked at them with respect. I do not know how to thank you, the captain said. We were dead. You brought us back to life. Tom looked down at the skinny alien. You don't need to thank us. Just stay alive. We are humans. When we see a problem, we fix it, and when we see a friend in trouble, we fight. Friends, the alien asked. You call us friends? We are stuck out here in the dark together, Tom said, looking around the engine room. Yeah, I guess we are friends. Just don't touch my coffee. The alien captain smiled. It was a strange, thin smile. I will not touch your coffee. They walked out of the engine room together. The ship was coming back to life. The lights were on. The heat was rising. But Tom knew it was not over yet. They had saved the ship, but they were still in the quarantine zone. The council was still out there. But for now, the humans had done the impossible. They had cheated death, and they had made some new friends along the way. The days passed quickly on the refugee ship. The engines were now humming, providing power and heat, but there was still a lot of work to do. The Star of Hope was alive again, but the people on board were still very weak. Mark had decided that the humans would not just stay on their own ship. They would live among the refugees and help them face to face. This was something the aliens had never seen before. In their culture, the leaders stayed in high towers and the workers stayed below. They never mixed. But humans were different. They believed in getting their hands dirty. In the central medical bay, it was crowded. The room smelled of strange medicines and sickness. Hundreds of injured aliens lay on beds on the floor. Emily was the head doctor on the Resolute. She was a kind woman with brown hair tied back in a ponytail. Today, she was not wearing her white uniform. She was wearing a plastic suit to protect herself from germs. She moved from bed to bed quickly. Her team of human nurses followed her, carrying boxes of supplies. She stopped in front of a small bed where a young Vorg child was lying. The Vorg were a rock-like species, usually very strong, but this child looked like a pile of broken stones. He was shivering, even though the room was warm. His mother stood next to him, looking helpless. Emily checked the monitors attached to the child. His fever is very high, Emily said softly. She turned to her nurse. Give him a shot of antibiotics. Use the human formula. The Vorg mother looked scared. Human medicine, is it safe? You are Deathworlders. Your biology is violent. Will it burn him? Emily smiled gently behind her clear plastic mask. I promise you, it will help. Our bodies fight very hard, so our medicine is strong. But it is safe. The nurse injected the medicine. Within minutes, the child stopped shivering. He opened his eyes and took a deep breath. The mother gasped. She put her hands on her face and tears ran down her rocky cheeks. She looked at Emily like she was a magician. You saved him, the mother whispered. The other doctors said we had to let the weak ones die. They said it was nature's way. Emily shook her head. We don't believe in that, she said firmly. We fight nature every single day. On Earth, we fight diseases and storms. We don't give up. Now, sit down. You need to rest too. While Emily was saving lives in the medical bay, Mike was in the ventilation shafts. The ship had a complex system of pipes and tunnels that carried air. They were clogged with dust and mold. The aliens were too big to fit inside the small tunnels, and the smaller ones were too weak to crawl. Mike was not too big. He was wearing coveralls with grease stains all over them. He had a flashlight strapped to his head and a scraper in his hand. He crawled on his hands and knees through the tight metal tunnel. It was hot and uncomfortable. The air was thick. "Hey, Mike, can you hear me?" a voice said over his radio. It was Lisa. "Loud and clear, Lisa," Mike said. He stopped to wipe sweat from his forehead. "We are reading a blockage in Sector 4. The airflow is bad there," Lisa said. "Yeah, I found it," Mike grunted. He pushed the scraper into a pile of black sludge blocking the pipe. "It looks like years of dirt. These aliens really need to clean their filters." Behind Mike, a Vorg engineer was trying to crawl. The Vorg was a wide, sturdy creature, but he was getting stuck in the human-sized tunnel. "This is impossible," the Vorg rumbled. "I cannot fit. Humans are too small. Your tunnels are like mouse holes." Mike laughed. "That's why we are here, big guy. Just pass me the tools." The Vorg watched Mike work with amazement. Mike was working in a tight, dirty space that no normal person would want to go into. He was breathing in bad air. He was scraping dirt with his bare hands. He was doing a job that a leader would never do. "Why do you do this?" the Vorg asked. "You are an officer. You should command others to do this dirty work." Mike stopped scraping for a second. He looked back at the alien. "Where I come from, a boss is someone who knows how to do the job better than anyone else. If I can't crawl in here and fix it, I have no business telling you how to run the engine." Mike went back to work, putting all his strength into the task. He pulled out a big chunk of dirt. The air started to flow faster, whistling through the pipes. "Ah, listen to that," Mike said. "That's the sound of fresh air." Everywhere on the ship, similar scenes were happening. Humans were working side by side with the aliens. They were sharing their food and their water. The aliens ate small, colored cubes for food. The humans opened their rations and shared them. The aliens tasted human chocolate for the first time. They thought it was strange that humans ate a brown, sweet block that melted in their mouths. "This is very soft," an Ilari woman said, tasting a piece of chocolate. She looked at Tom, who was guarding the hallway. "Do you fight with this energy?" Tom smiled. He was eating a chocolate bar too. "Nah, this is for fun. But yes, we like good food. It keeps us happy." The aliens were beginning to understand humans. They saw that humans were not monsters. Humans were emotional. They laughed loud. They got angry when things were unfair. They hugged each other. They were messy and loud, but they were full of life. Later that day, Mark called a meeting in the main mess hall. The room was packed with aliens and humans. Mark stood on a table so everyone could see him. He looked tired, but his eyes were bright. "We have done good work," Mark said. His voice was strong. "The power is on. The heat is working. The medical bay is full. But we are not safe yet." The room became quiet. The aliens looked at him with worry. "We are still in the quarantine zone," Mark continued. "The council blocked the way out. If we try to leave, they might attack. They left you here to die, and they will not be happy that we ruined their plan." An old Ilari stood up. "Then we must hide. We must stay here and hope they forget us." Mark shook his head. No. We cannot hide. Our supplies will not last forever. We have to leave. We have to force our way through the blockade. The aliens started to whisper among themselves. They were scared. They were peaceful people. They were not warriors. They looked at the human soldiers. They saw the guns and the tough armor. We will fight for you, Mark said. But we need you to trust us. You need to do exactly what we say. When the shooting starts, do not panic. We will get you through. An Ilari captain stepped forward. My people, we have not fought in 1,000 years. We are farmers and workers. We are not like you. Mark jumped down from the table and walked up to the Ilari captain. He put a hand on the alien's thin shoulder. You don't need to be like us. You just need to be brave for 10 minutes. Let us handle the fighting. We are very good at it. Lisa stepped forward next to Mark. I have been looking at the maps, she said. There is a gap in the blockade near the third moon. It is risky, but it is the only way. We are ready, Tom said. He stood with his arms crossed. The boys are itching for a fight. No one leaves people behind. Not on our watch. The aliens looked at each other. For weeks, they had felt hopeless. They felt like the whole universe wanted them dead. But looking at these humans, they felt something new. They felt pride. They felt that maybe, just maybe, they could survive because they had friends who were crazy enough to help. Mark looked at his crew. All right, everyone. Get some sleep. Tomorrow, we leave this graveyard. We are going home. The aliens cheered. It was not a weak cheer this time. It was loud. They cheered for the humans. They cheered for the crazy, loud, dangerous Deathworlders who had come to save them. As the meeting broke up, Emily went back to her patients, and Mike went back to the engines. They knew the next day would be hard. They knew they might get hurt. But looking at the smiles on the alien faces, they knew it was worth it. The humans had saved them from the cold. Now, they had to save them from the darkness outside. The silence of space was suddenly broken by a loud, harsh siren. It was a sound that made everyone on the bridge of the Star of Hope jump. The red warning lights flashed, painting the room in a bloody color. Mark stood up straight, his hand instantly going to the console in front of him. He had been expecting this, but he was hoping it would not happen so soon. Report. Mark shouted. Lisa typed fast on her keyboard. Her face was pale but focused. 3 ships decloaking directly ahead. Distance, 5,000 kilometers. They are Xylotian cruisers. They have us surrounded. On the main screen, the empty black space suddenly shimmered. 3 sleek, silver ships appeared. They looked like sharp needles, elegant and dangerous. They were the Council's enforcement fleet. They were not here to talk. They were here to clean up the mess. The alien captain of the Star of Hope trembled. They found us, he whispered. We are dead. The Xylotians do not leave survivors. Tom walked onto the bridge. He had his helmet on, carrying his rifle. He looked calm. We are not dead yet, Tom said. I have my team ready. We can board them if we have to. Mark shook his head. Not yet. Let's see what they want. A cold voice came over the radio speakers. It was mechanical and arrogant. This is Commander Vex of the Xylotian Third Fleet. Unidentified human vessel, you are violating Council Quarantine Order 99. You are harboring infected biologicals. You are ordered to power down your engines and prepare to be boarded. If you resist, you will be destroyed. Mark walked to the communication panel. He pressed the button to speak to the enemy ship. This is Captain Mark of the Earthship Resolute. These people are not infected. They are starving and freezing, but they are free. We are taking them out of here. If you want to stop us, you will have to fight. There was a pause on the line. Then the voice laughed. It was a mocking laugh. Human. You are a primitive species. You are violent and stupid. You cannot defeat us. Your technology is inferior. Your biology is weak. Power down, or we will open fire. Mark looked at his crew. He saw the anger in their eyes. Humans did not like being called weak. They did not like bullies who kicked people when they were down. Lisa, Mark said quietly. Are the shields up? Yes, Captain, she replied. But the Xylotians have lasers. They are accurate. Good, Mark said. Tom, get to the guns. We are going to show them what primitive means. Mark turned back to the microphone. Listen to me carefully, Commander. We are not primitives. We are from a death world. We fight predators on the ground every day. We don't hide behind shields and diplomacy. If you fire one shot, we will ram this ship down your throat. Is that clear? You are insane, the alien commander said. Target the human vessel. Fire at will. The bridge shook violently as a laser beam hit the Resolute's shields. The lights flickered. Evasive maneuvers. Mark yelled. Take us into the debris field. They can't follow us there. The Resolute banked hard and dived toward a field of floating rocks and broken ships. It was a dangerous place to fly. But the human pilot was skilled. He flew the big ship like a fighter jet, dodging giant pieces of metal. The Xylotien ships followed, but they were not used to this kind of flying. They were used to open space battles where they could stay far away and shoot. They are too fast. The alien commander shouted over the open channel. Hold your course. We can't shake them, Captain, Lisa said. They are locking onto our engines. Mark looked at the tactical map. He saw the alien ships fanning out. They were trying to trap them. It was a classic strategy. But they had never fought humans before. Humans always cheated. Tom, Mark said into his radio. Are you in position? I am on the Star of Hope, Captain, Tom replied. I am at the main control tower for the defense guns. These old alien guns are heavy, but I think I can make them work. Good, Mark said. Wait for my signal. The Resolute suddenly turned around. It stopped running away. It faced the enemy head-on. This was insane. Usually, ships tried to keep their distance. What are you doing? The alien captain screamed. They are charging us. Full speed ahead. Mark ordered. Ramming speed. The Xylotien commander panicked. He had never seen a ship charge like this. It was suicide. Break formation. Break formation. But it was too late. The Resolute flew right between two of the silver ships. It was so close that the paint on the hull scraped against their shields. Then, the Resolute fired. It didn't fire lasers. It fired its main rail guns. These were giant guns that shot metal slugs at incredible speed. They were simple weapons, but they hit like a hammer. The metal slugs smashed into the side of the lead Xylotien ship. The silver ship's shields flickered and died. The hull cracked open. Debris flew out into space. The enemy ship spun out of control. "Now, Tom!" Mark yelled. On the Star of Hope, Tom was sitting in the gunner's seat. He had rewired the controls to work with human hands. "Eat this," Tom growled. He pulled the trigger. The old alien defense guns on the refugee ship roared to life. They had not been fired in years. They spat plasma bolts across the distance. The aim was wild, but there were a lot of them. They peppered the second Xylotian ship. The elegant alien ship was not built to take a beating. Its armor was thin. The plasma bolts burned through the hull. Explosions rippled across the silver surface. "Hull breach!" The alien commander shouted. "Retreat! Retreat!" The third ship saw its two friends getting destroyed. It turned its engines around and ran. It activated its hyperdrive and disappeared in a flash of light. The battle was over in less than 10 minutes. The bridge of the Star of Hope was silent. Then, the cheering started. The Alari crew looked at the screens in shock. They could not believe it. The mighty Xylotian fleet, the terror of the galaxy, had been beaten by a bunch of dirty humans. Mark let out a long breath. He leaned on the console. "Report," he said, trying to catch his breath. "Enemy ships are retreating or disabled," Lisa said. She was smiling. "We took a hit to the front shield, but we are okay." Tom's voice came over the radio. "Did you see that I hit the engine?" "I actually hit it?" Mark laughed. "Good job, Tom. Good job everyone." The alien captain walked over to Mark. He looked at the human with new eyes. He saw the blood on Mark's forehead where a falling panel had hit him. He saw the sweat and the dirt. You fought them head on," the alien stammered. "You used debris as cover. You used your ship as a weapon. It was brutal. It was messy." Mark wiped the blood from his forehead. "War is not a dance, Captain. It is a fight. We do what we have to do to protect our own." "You called us your own," the alien said softly. Mark nodded. "Today, I did." The aliens on the bridge looked at each other. For so long, they had felt small. They thought the galaxy was too big and too scary for them. But now, they saw that even small people could be scary if they had the heart to fight. They saw that humans were not civilized warriors. They were brawlers. They were survivors. And they were on the aliens' side. "Is the path clear?" Mark asked Lisa. "Yes, Captain," she said. "The way to the jump gate is open." "They ran away too fast to block it?" "Then let's go," Mark said. "Get the refugees to the shuttles. We are getting them out of here." The mood on the ship changed from fear to hope. The humans moved quickly, securing the area. The aliens moved with them, helping where they could. They were not just waiting to be saved anymore. They were working with their saviors. They had seen the human spirit in action, and it was contagious. Mark looked out the window at the damaged enemy ships floating in the dark. He knew the Council would not like this. He knew there would be consequences. But he did not care. He had made a promise, and he intended to keep it. No one left behind. The silence that followed the battle was heavy, but it was a good silence. The explosions had stopped, and the dangerous red lights on the bridge had turned back to soft blue. The three Xylotian ships were no longer a threat. One was drifting helplessly with its engines dead, and the other two had run away into the darkness of space. The Resolute and the Star of Hope were still standing. Captain Mark stood on the bridge of the alien ship, looking at the main screen. He took a deep breath and let it out slowly. His hands were steady, but he felt the weight of the last few days. They had won the fight, but the mission was not over yet. "Status report," Mark said to Lisa. Lisa was typing on her console, but she had a big smile on her face. "The enemy is gone, Captain." They jumped to hyperspace. "The way to the jump gate is clear. Our shields are at 60%, but the engines are holding steady." Mark nodded. "Good. And the refugees?" "Power is stable on all decks," she replied. "Heat and air are back to normal levels. They are scared, but they are alive." Mark turned to the alien captain. The Alari leader was standing by his chair, looking at Mark with a mixture of awe and confusion. For a long time, the Alari had believed that strength came from technology and big fleets. They had never seen anything like the humans. The humans used brute force, they took risks, and they broke the rules. "We are ready to leave," Mark told the alien captain. "We will escort you to the jump gate. Once we are on the other side, you will be safe in a free sector." The alien captain hesitated. He looked down at his thin, gray hands. "Why did you do it?" he asked softly. "You risked your ship. You risked your lives. The Galactic Council is powerful. They will punish you for this. They will say you are pirates. Why save us? We are just weak refugees." Mark walked over to the alien. He stood tall, looking the alien in the eye. "Because where I come from, we don't leave people behind. On Earth, we have storms. We have earthquakes. We have dangerous animals. We lost millions of people before we learned how to survive. We learned that the only way to survive is to stick together. If we see someone in the snow, we don't ask if they are rich or important. We just pull them inside." The alien captain listened carefully. He had never heard of such a philosophy. The galaxy was based on trade and power. If you could not pay, you did not eat. If you were not strong, you were a slave. But humans were different. "You are, very strange," the alien captain said. "You are violent, yes. You are brutal. But you are also kind." "We are loyal," Mark said. "That is what matters. Now, give the order to your crew. We are leaving." Over the next hour, the human crew worked with the alien crew to prepare for the jump. The Resolute took the lead position, acting as a shield. The Star of Hope followed closely behind, surrounded by the smaller refugee ships that had managed to get their engines running. It was a strange fleet. The human ship was blocky and ugly, covered in weapons and armor. The alien ships were sleek and curved, usually elegant, but now they were scarred and dirty. Tom was on the bridge of the Resolute, coordinating the security teams. He looked at the radar screen. He saw the blips of the refugee ships moving in formation behind them. "They are staying close," Tom said. "They are trusting us to lead them." "They have no one else," Mike said. He was sitting at the engineering station, monitoring the engine temperature. "We are all they have." "Then we better not let them down," Tom said. Mark sat back in his chair. "Helm, set course for the Alpha Centauri jump gate. Maximum speed." The big human ship moved forward. The engines glowed bright blue, pushing the ship through the stars. As they accelerated, the refugee ships matched their speed. It was a race for freedom. Suddenly, the communication screen lighted up. It was a general broadcast, meant for everyone in the sector. It was the Galactic Council. An alien face appeared on the screen. He looked angry and arrogant. Human vessels, the council representative said. You have committed a crime. You have attacked a council fleet and released a quarantine. You are declared enemies of the galaxy. All ports are closed to you. All trade is forbidden. You are outcasts. Mark stood up. He pressed the button to reply. We don't care about your ports. We don't care about your trade. We are taking these people to safety. If you have a problem with that, come and stop us. The council representative sputtered. You are insane. You will be hunted. You will never find peace. We don't need peace, Mark said. We just need a home. He cut the transmission. The bridge crew cheered. They were not scared of being outcasts. Humans had been alone on Earth for a long time. They were used to being the underdogs. As the fleet approached the jump gate, the stars began to stretch. The massive ring of the gate spun slowly in front of them. It was the doorway to a new life. We are entering the gate in 3, 2, 1, the pilot said. The ships jumped into hyperspace. The stars turned into long lines of light, and then they vanished. They were traveling faster than light, leaving the quarantine zone behind forever. They emerged in a different part of the galaxy. It was a quiet sector, far away from the Council's control. The stars here were bright and yellow. There were no silver warships waiting for them. There was only open space. We made it, Lisa said. We are out. On the Star of Hope, the aliens cheered. They ran to the windows to see the new stars. They were crying tears of joy. They hugged each other. The humans watched them, feeling proud. Mike looked at the celebration. You know, he said to Tom. The council called us Deathworlders. They said we were monsters. But look at them. They are alive because of us. Tom nodded. Yeah. They are scared of us because they don't understand us. They think we are crazy because we fight so hard. But they will learn. They will learn that humans are the best friends you can have, and the worst enemies you can make. Captain Mark sent a message to the refugee ships. This is Captain Mark. Welcome to freedom. You are safe now. We will stay with you until you find a planet to call home. We are humans, and we stand with you. The message was repeated over and over. The aliens heard it and felt hope in their hearts. The galaxy had left them for dead. The strong species had ignored them. But the Deathworlders had come. The story of this rescue would spread across the stars. It would change how the galaxy looked at humans. They would no longer just be seen as violent brutes. They would be seen as the guardians. The ones who rush into the fire when everyone else runs away. The ones who save the lost. Mark looked out at the new stars. He knew the future would be hard. The council would not forget this. But he also knew his crew. He knew his people. They were tough, they were smart, and they never gave up. Set course for the nearest habitable planet, Mark ordered. Let's get them settled. The fleet moved forward together, human and alien, side by side. They had survived the graveyard of stars. They had survived the cold and the enemies. And they had done it because a group of humans decided to do the right thing. The Deathworlders had saved them, and nothing would ever be the same again.